Welcome, my dear students. This is a new topic in economic, in the macroeconomic about the wages, and the resources and the interest. So we have three topics here: wages, resources, interest. Let's take them today and talk about each of them and the useful of it, and give a definition for each one and the factors that affect the wages, the factors or the variables that affect the rent, the variables that affect the interest. Let's see. We'll share the screen and go through this chapter and check out what we can do here. Okay. So by the end of this chapter, we will get the factor that change resource or affect in the resources. The resources are the outputs, the inputs. The resources are the inputs or the necessaries for the productions. Or, as example, if you have a furniture company, your resources or your inputs is the wood. So, learn about the factors that affect wages also. Then, look at the income for rent, interest, and profits. We'll see those three topics as well. So the demand for resources, the demand for resources, resources is based, this demand is based on the demand for products. Because when you are producing, when you have a factory as example, and you are producing furniture, so you need wood. So this is the mean depends on the products. As long as you produce furniture, then you will be in need to the resources of the wood. And how much extra profits these resources provide. That's fine. Now, factors affecting resources demand is like any other item, or by the other meaning, the demand for the resources like the demand for any other item. So, the demand for the resources is like any other item. So, factors affecting resource demand are product demand, other resources prices increase in a complementary or alternate price. So if the alternate price increased, then people will tend or the buyers will tend to buy from you because you will be the cheaper or the cheapest price. If the other alternates price go down, people will leave you and they will go and buy from the lower price. That's what we said. So the alternate prices. Okay. Now, an increase in the substitute resources prices causes an increase in demand and vice versa. Yes, like I said. Then after that, the technological innovation. If there are technological innovations like technology that reduce the waste or whatever, then the demand for the resources will be changed. Technological innovation or the innovations in general. Okay. Okay. What are the wages? Now we will go to the wages. The wages, what? The money which you take for your work. For doing a work, you take wages. So, what are the factors that affect the wages? First of all, the productivity of anyone who's working. We call it labor productivity. That's fine. The level of education also affects about the wage. One of the factors that affect the wage is your education, the experience of the worker. If he's entry level, he does not have any experience, or he's experienced. So this also affects the wages. Job conditions. How about where are you working? Are you working in the desert just digging for the oil? Or are you working in a clerk in an office quiet with an air condition and this and that and everything is fine? The job condition is correlated or related to risk. Is this job in a risky environment or it is not in a risky environment? That depends. Okay. As example, nowadays in the COVID days, doctors or the physicians who are working and the healthcare providers, the job conditions is very risky for them. Okay, so they might ask for bonus. They might ask for bonus or alternate for this risk, extra for the risk. Regional disparities from a place to a place, from each region is having its own laws and rules. And okay, market power, the market power in which hands, and who will decide the prices, who will decide the wages and the pay. Okay, and if there is or there is no discrimination, and with the discrimination we means that you try to signalize or make differentiate in the wages, same people doing the same job, but you make difference in the, you give this person $14 per hour and you give this person $20 per hour, and they both of them are doing the same job. We will come to talk about this point later on. So now within few minutes, so the discrimination is based on trying to make a differentiate between two persons doing the same job, and you give them different pays. You give them different pays. Okay, how about the education? Education serves two main purposes: consumption and investment in human capital. No any dispute about the role of the education in raising up, evaluating the skills of the workers. Okay, and that's in return will reduce the cost of production and will increase the prices. As long as we're talking about the wages and about the labors, we have to talk about the labor union. Labor unions is like a legio. It is resembling or representing the workers, and it's defending their own rights. There are main two types of labor unions. We have two types of labor unions. What are they? Industrial unions, and we have craft unions. So what are the difference between them? The industrial unions include all workers in certain industry. So all the workers in certain industry is including. Craft union include workers in a particular occupation, in a one or a specific. Okay, so the industrial for certain industry, but the craft is for particular occupation. Okay, the second one is restricted by specifications of the members themselves. That's what we're talking about. The job discrimination, I said just now, we will go to it. Job discrimination is the payment of individual different, look at the word different, amount of substantially the same work. They are doing the same work, but they are taking different pays. This is the point. How about rent? Rent is the payment for the use of productive resources, because you use productive resources. So you have to pay rent. As example, I have apartment. This apartment for me is a resource for my production. Like I'm teaching now, I'm doing this is a kind of production. So because I'm using these walls, because I'm using the ground, because I'm using this room, I have to pay instead. Okay? The payment for use of productive resources. If someone is having a factory, this factory is in a building, he has to pay rent for this building, because this building for him is a productive resource. The building is a productive resource, so he has to pay for it in only fixed amount. And of course, the rent is a fixed amount, like you see here. It's a fixed amount, means that it's not changed. Like as example, $100 monthly, $200 monthly, 100 $1,000 yearly by year. Okay. After this, we will go to the interest. When money is lent, the lender requires repayment, but I will give you $100. Do you think that I will take them $100 back? or I will take them more than $100. I will take them more, of course, than $100. So here, when money is lent, the lender requires repayment not of the loan principal, but also a charge for the use of money. So you will take in return the money and the interest rate as a lender. I lend you $100 simply. I lent you $100 before. You said after 1 year you will bring them back, but you will not bring the $100 as you took it. You will bring them $110. Okay, so there are 10% interest annually. Because of what? Because of the opportunity cost. Because I gave you this money, I sacrificed with my happiness, I sacrificed with spending them for my fantasies. So this is we call opportunity cost. The $10 extra because I prevent myself from using this $100, and I preferred you, I gave it to you. So in return, don't return them for me only 100. You have to return them 110. So the prepayment not only of the loan principal, but also a charge for the use of the money. Interest is the payment for the opportunity cost of the money being used. How about the range of the interest rate? What are the factors affect the interest rate? The factors affect the interest rate. What are they? The credit risk. The more you will invest in risky, the high interest rates you will ask. Okay? The more risky, the high interest rates. Okay. The loan period. If you will take money from me for 1 year, you will pay only 5%. If I will lend you money for 1 year, you will pay 5%. But if this money I will lend it to you for 5 years, not 1 year, 5 years, then you will pay 20% interest. So the longer the time period, the longer the time period, the higher the interest rate. So when the time period is more, the interest rate should be more. Collateral. Collaterals, do you have any guarantee that the money which you will take now, you will turn? Can I have any guarantee of yours that whatever you will take now, if you didn't pay, then you have any assets that I will hold on my hand? And in the case that you did fall to the risk, you didn't pay me. In the case you didn't pay me, I will, as example, the collaterals, it might be a house you have, or a building, or a car, or whatever. So those we call it collaterals. Something that guarantee in the case that you didn't pay, I will go for it. Okay. The size of the loan. Also, the interest rate depends on the size of loan. The larger, the higher the rate of interest. The smaller amount of money or few dollars, then the interest rate will go down. How about the profits? Actually, in the capitalism, and this word I want you to know it, the capitalism means that the government let everything free. The supply and demand are free, and the market equilibrium is free. In that case, uh, they say, as kind of critics, critics, that whatever you will gain, it's not for the worker. Most of it go to the owner of the business. So the owner of the business will take the money, not the worker itself. The profits, most of it, are taken by, in simple words, look at this, attribute profits to the power of business owners rather than to their contributions to the economy. You see? So it goes to the profits goes to the power of the owner, business owner. Okay. Profits can also be seen as a return to entrepreneurs for the risk taking. Yes, the higher the risk, the higher required the profits. As long as I am very risky, I go for a risky project, then I ask for more interest or I ask for more profits. Uh, yeah. So there must be something to this encourage me to go through this project. Okay, because it's a very risky. So I will ask for more interest. So we are talking about the labor unions, and we want to know the labor unions, what they are or what the meaning of it. It's a collective. This union represent members and it do the collective bargaining. Both unions and employers make collective agreements. They have collective agreements. Actually, the unions always defending on the workers' rights. The main reason for the unions is defending the workers' rights. There are other benefits, like as example, social benefits, building hospitals, building clubs, building this and that. So those are some extra works, but the main work for the union is just to defend the workers' rights. It is in between the workers and the owner of the business. It works, the union work in between the workers from one side and the owner of the business from the other side, which bind both parties for a given period. When agreement is impossible, mediation means to put someone interfere to solve the problem. Like mediating means in the middle. So I put this guy or I put this union just to fix the problem. When agreement is impossible, mediation or arbitration can be used to bring about the settlement. So this is the rule of the labor union. Just will repeat it back. If no settlements, union members can work through or stage a strike. So in that case, we'll do the strike like the strikes which you hear in the TV or what you see in the TV. There is a strike means the people will go and ask for the rights. We need more pay. We need, as example, the minimum wages is not enough. $15 per hour is not enough. We need it to be more than $15 per hour. Okay. Employers may use a lockout to bring absolute about the settlements. So actually, the unions in the Canadian economy is very old, 70 years now. It's since 70 years. Uh, but it's anyhow, it's growing. So the labor unions are growing. It's not the same, but they are growing, means increasing. Unionization rates also very significantly in for the industry. But look at this with male dominated, so males are more in the unions than the females. Like see, with male dominated occupations have a slightly higher rate than female dominated occupations. So this is for the unions, male dominated more than female. So the majority are males, the minority are the females in the unions in Canada. I'm talking about Canada. Let's go for the questions now and see what did it mean here. What is those questions about? Yeah, and I think it will be if it is 20, that's fine, or 16 or 40. Let's make it 40. Okay. Now let's go. Wage determinants are labor, productivity, education, experience, job conditions, regional disparities, market power, or all the above. Of course, those are all wage determinants. Those are all wage determinants. The second question, number two, the profit maximizing employment rule states that profits are when the marginal, we talked about this before, we said the marginal revenue and the marginal cost. So the profit maximizing when of the resources when marginal revenues for the resources equals the marginal cost. So here we will put the word maximized. Third, the market supply curve shows the total number of workers offering their services. So if there is a curve as well, it will show all the workers. It will show a part of them. No, it will show, this is logically. So we'll put the total workers here. Factors can cause changes in resource demand are product demand, substitute resources, price, technology. You think this one or this one or all the above. Of course, we said there are a lot of factors that affect the resource demand. So those are all the factors in together. Number five, wage determinants are means what are the factors affect the wages? What are the factors which affect the wages? What they are? Okay, so they are labor, productivity, education, experience, all this affect about the wages, job conditions, regional disparities, and market power. So it is all the above. It is all the above. Six. Question number six. Dots include all workers in a certain industry. We said this is industrial unions. Industrial union because of the word all. So this is industrial unions because it's collecting all the workers together. Seven, dots include workers in a particular occupation and restrict. Okay. This is the craft. The craft, because the craft is a particular people. Craft union is for people who are working only in some and very similar to each other, and the entry to this kind of union is restricted because it's a closed group, not all the people like the industrial, some of them. So this we call it craft union. 8, direct job discrimination is the payment of individuals. We said the direct job discrimination, when we discuss it, we said you have two persons doing doing the same job, two different persons doing the same job, but you give them different pays. You give them different pays. So this is, we call it job discrimination. Job discrimination. Okay. So here it will be direct job discrimination. Direct means explicit. Everyone see it and everyone know it. Okay. Interest is payment for the opportunity cost. Like I told you, I will take $100. You will give me $100. Okay, I will take from you $100, but you sacrificed with your happiness for using this $100. So I will not return it to you back 100 as I took it. No, I have to return it 100 plus the interest. Okay, this is opportunity cost. Okay, the opportunity cost of money being used, because I use this money and I prevent you from using it. Factors affect the interest rates are the credit risk. We said as more the risk is, the higher the risk, the higher the interest rate required, or the higher the risk, the higher the rate will be. Okay. Collaterals, if you have collaterals, or if you don't have enough collaterals, then in that case this will be risky. So I will ask for more interest rate. Instead of 7%, I will ask for 20% because you don't have collaterals. And the size of the loan also, the more the size of the loan, the higher the risk. So the higher the interest. Unionization rates, which with male dominates occupation, have a slightly higher than females. That's what we said before, because males are more than the females in the Canadian unions. Thank you so much for watching and wish you a very good night. Thank you.